If you're just joining us, we are here in Times Square as the USA Wrestling team takes on Russia at the 2011 Battle on Broadway, only on FCS. Welcome back to Times Square, and this is what a lot of people have been waiting to see. Henry Cejudo making his return to the mat. Hasn't wrestled in 3 years since winning the 2008 Olympic Championship in Beijing. Gonna take on Rasul Mashezov, 21 years old, third in the Junior Worlds. This is a good test for Henry coming back after this long layoff.
Oh, it definitely is. You question yourself. You wonder if you still have it. Henry's kind of been back and forth, wondering if he wanted to come back and compete. And, making the choice here is a big stance the year before the Olympic year. Right now, this is a good stepping stone. If you win, you know exactly where you're at, and you're back on pace to make the Olympic team. If you lose, you see what you have to work on. And, there's nothing like the pressure at Times Square.
And Henry Cejudo went right from high school to the Olympic Training Center. He had won 2 Arizona high school state titles, moved to the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs, won 2 Colorado state titles at Coronado High School, training with Terry Brands every day, paid off. He became the youngest Olympic champion in USA Wrestling with that gold in Beijing. And, this is a guy that the media tends to gravitate toward. He's a great story. He's been on all sorts of talk shows talking about his upbringing and living in cars and all his brothers and sisters and his single mother, really battling just to keep her family afloat. And Henry Cejudo, really a guy that kind of embodies the beat the streets mentality. Is like you too can come from what seems to be a really low level and make yourself a champion.
You can. It's about taking an opportunity, seizing the opportunity. Wrestling, it doesn't care who you are, where you're from. It gives you the opportunity to achieve greatness. And that's what Henry's done by winning the gold medal in the Beijing Olympics in 2008.
And right away, Henry Cejudo's first shot attempt in 3 years is going to net a 1-point takedown. Nice low ankle. Now going to go work on parterre.
Nice low-level single, good finish, and he's changing his level. The sport of wrestling, a lot of the old classic styles, keeping it up, standing up, changing the level, dropping in. Henry's kind of gone down to a 3-point stance, quick action. You don't have to change as much level. You can get in on that shot that much quicker.
1:30 to go, period 1. Freestyle wrestling is best of 3 periods. There will be 3 2-minute periods if needed. Cumulative score not a factor. You just have to win the periods, much like tennis in that respect, where you can be in a match, 6-0, 0-6, 1-6, 6-0, and come out winning by, who wins the most sets in that case here, who wins the most periods. A little different from when you wrestle.
It is, knowing that if you win a period 1-0, it's the same as winning the period 6-0. So if you do get behind, you have a bad period, you have the chance to come back and win the next 2. Henry's got the lead here. And it's a matter of executing, continuing to set up low level, continuing to come back and set it up front headlock position.
Mashezov trying to come around. 43 seconds remaining here in period 1. Spinning behind. Looks like he's going to get it. No, Cejudo changes direction. How did he do that? Comes around, gets control. 2-0 lead for Cejudo.
Mashezov trying to come around the back door, come around the front headlock position. Henry waiting, and it's about knowing where you're at and executing the move. Henry did a nice little, get his head away from his knee, sit through, and then came out the back door for a 2-0 lead, and that's huge. That's a great counter reaction shot by Henry Cejudo to be able to counter out of a situation where it could have ended up 1-1, but now being ahead 2-0 gives you a little bit of a confidence with 15 seconds left.
Cejudo showing no signs of rust from a 3-year layoff. Coming up here in short time in period number 1 with 21-year-old Rasul Mashezov. Not exactly a slouch. Third in the Junior Worlds, and the Junior World Championships in a lot of cases can be just as tough as the Senior Worlds, because the young guns coming through, they're wrestling juniors, they're also at the senior level. There you see Zeke giving instructions to Henry Cejudo. What do you think's going through Coach Jones and Coach Douglas right now as they talk to Henry Cejudo?
I think probably a little bit of happiness, getting ahead of that first period, 1-0, then ultimately, a counter reaction to a 2-0 lead and to win that period. And the thing about the Olympics in Beijing, Henry Cejudo got down in the first few periods and he had to come back. But to get ahead here, that's a big confidence builder for Henry Cejudo.
You see that first takedown now? That low ankle pick, gaining control, and now we're underway in period number 2. Seconds ago, you saw a couple of the celebrities in attendance, including NCAA champion and outstanding wrestler Anthony Robles from Arizona State, and some guy people might know from an acting career, has a little bit of a wrestling background himself, Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, it's funny to see. I had a chance to meet Ashton before the match, and seeing he's such a wrestling supporter, being from Iowa. It's just fun to see how many people gravitate to the sport of wrestling.
Mashezov going to take the lead here in the second with that takedown. Going to try to work a parterre situation. Parterre, top and bottom is the terminology.
And what it is Mashezov got the takedown, a little 2-on-1 position, came in, got control of the leg, and just kind of sneaked around the side to get the 1-point takedown. It's not that big a deal, knowing that you have up to a 6-point throw in the sport of wrestling. So, Henry's just being really methodical, really smart about, the way he's addressing this. He's not trying to go out there and prove his point. He's going out there and setting up every shot, continuing to make contact with the face, get your opponent off balance, make him react to every reaction, make him respect you.
1 minute to go, period 2. The crowd getting behind him here at Times Square. Still can't believe what's going on here right now.
The spectacle, you look in the background, you see all the lights and the glitter of New York City, and wrestling gets the opportunity to be in Times Square. That's something really special.
Mashezov in on a single again, going to gain control. We'll wait to see if it's confirmed. It is confirmed, a 2-0 lead now for Mashezov. And in wrestling, takedowns are 1 point. Then there are a variety of levels of exposure, 1, 2, in points for exposure, depending on the degree you've exposed your back. 3-point throws, and of course the coup de grace, the 5-pointer.
And to see Henry not coming back, not panicking, being confident.
Front headlock, Cejudo's going to take him over. Is it going to be 3? 3 confirmed, 3 points for Henry Cejudo, taking his opponent from his feet right to their back. 3 points, and he takes the lead with 15 seconds remaining here in period 2. And the Russians are going to challenge.
Huge throw, great front headlock position. Henry stepped his hip in, a lot of chance taken there in that front headlock position. But just a great execution. High elevation, amplitude out of the 3-point turn. Russia was trying to hold that. Mashezov was trying to hold Henry on his back.
Yeah, it looks like he definitely broke that 90-degree angle. You got to break 90 to expose your back. As you see it here a couple times, sits back, exposes his opponent. Not sure why the Russians are challenging here, Rulon. It looks pretty cut and dry from that position.
And it all depends on interpretation of where you're at, what angle you're at. And that's the one part about wrestling that's kind of difficult. Even though there are 3 officials, they have to be able to interpret. The Russians felt maybe he didn't get the exposure. It's all about your angle. You know what? It's better to be safe than sorry right now.
Well, in this case, the challenge situation is each team gets a challenge per match. If they win the challenge, they do not lose it. If they lose the challenge, not only do they lose the challenge, they can't challenge again, they also lose a point for it.
Yep, and it's all interpretation. There, it looks like it could be over a 90-degree, or it looks like it could be under. It just depends on what angle you're taking. If you look at Mashezov, he actually went over the throw, didn't continue to expose and go to his back. He did more of a cartwheel motion. Henry with the front headlock, high amplitude. Mashezov.
He did cartwheel, you're right, but as far as look at that angle, it's more than 90 degrees. I think that's clearly 3, Rube.
Yep, and it's all about the exposure. What did the back do? What's the position of the back? And he got confirmed 3 points for Cejudo. 3-point lead with 15 seconds left. That's huge.
And here's the cadence. The cadence is, after a video review, the wrestling official on the mat shows what he scores. The judge, there are 3 officials. The judge shows what he scores, and then the mat chairman is basically the ultimate tiebreaker if they do not agree. 2 out of 3 officials have to agree. In this case, they do agree, and Cejudo will get an extra point for the lost challenge. So now up 4-2 with 10 seconds to go in his first match back, just seconds away.
And all you have to do is tolerate the pressure. Henry goes down for the 1-point takedown. No harm done.
But that's going to do it in his first match back, Times Square. Getting this crowd here pumped up. Henry Cejudo, 2-0, 4-3. A victory in his first match back, giving Noel Thompson a slap on the hand before he gets his hand raised. Henry Cejudo over Rasul Mashezov here at 55 kilos.
Just like it was at the last Olympics in Beijing 2008, walking off victorious.
So the 24-year-old takes his time coming back, getting a hug from Mike Novogratz from Beat the Streets. And with that 2-0-4-3, we'll be back with the battle on Broadway, USA versus Russia, here on Fox College Sports.